Hello and welcome back everybody. Today we're going to talk about My Hero Academia chapter 201, and something that I really liked seeing in this chapter was of course the outcome of Kendo and Momo, but also just the entirety of this match, because we really see that Class 1B is not quite as weak compared to Class 1A as we previously may have thought or previously may have expected in a way, because this is kind of what can happen in a manga. You know, the main cast, the main class in this case would be the superior class in every single way, but I'm really happy that Class 1B has something to bring to the table, even though they are a secondary cast, and I don't think a lot of people saw this happening. Like, I don't think anyone really expected Kinoko to be able to really put her mushrooms inside of Tokuyami's throat, because that was really what put the match upside down in my opinion, because he really had Kinoko and Kurohiro ready to be imprisoned in this jail thing that they had, but you know, because of her quirk and her sneaky way of using this quirk, it threw the entire match for Tokuyami. And obviously Momo was already apprehended. She hadn't been brought to the cage either, which kind of meant that you had Tokuyami, you had Invisible Girl, you had Momo. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of the Class 1A has got fucked over so badly simultaneously at the very end, because that's really what caused Class 1B to shine. But that's not to say that Class 1B is all too powerful either. I mean, you shouldn't really go in and think that every member of this Class 1B match is stronger than the Class 1A members in that same match, because that would really be misleading in the sense that this is a team effort, not a one-on-one. And also it's really situational, because the point was to capture your enemy team, and you know, you don't know the abilities of the other team necessarily, especially Class 1A, who don't know the quirks, or at least not the extent of the quirks of Class 1B, like the Mushroom Girls. You know, as we just kind of went through, her quirk had some tricks that they didn't even know about. Now of course this goes both ways. You know, Class 1B probably doesn't know every trick of Class 1A either, but they really seem to be more on top of things than Class 1A in this match, because at the end of the day they came out on top and Class 1A didn't. Simple as that. Now, one thing that I truly liked about Momo versus Kendo in this chapter is how Kendo is the more physically capable character out of the two, because as we saw, she was a lot faster and really on top of Momo quite immediately, whereas Momo had a trick up her sleeve. Although she never intended necessarily to come out as the winner between the two of them, she was really thinking of her team over herself, which it actually is a really good trait to have, in the sense that I remember at the beginning of the story, All Might said that self-sacrifice is what defines a hero pretty much. You know, it's something that you should have. It's a really heroic thing. And Momo really displayed that this chapter, which kind of makes her someone to look out for in the future, because she may actually have this mentality, you know, on multiple occasions where she's not really as worried about her own being as she is of her comrades, which is both good and bad. You know, of course you should still think about your own being, but if you can't find a way out, maybe this could be a really good thing. But if it's not really necessary and Momo still thinks that this should be the course of action, it could really end up being something negative for her, but maybe not for her whole team, because she may end up sacrificing her own self when it's not necessary. But as I said, the other way around, you know, she may also sacrifice her own being in the most dire situation, which could end up helping a lot of people. And this is something that I really hope seeing from Momo, because we haven't really seen anyone except Deku, I believe, and Kirishima, I suppose, who really showcase this trait that much, in the sense that they would really do anything to protect people around them. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't any other people like that in class, but these are really the main two characters that we've seen this from, and Momo being the third, in the sense that she was obviously willing to sacrifice her entire role in that match with the hopes that Class 1A would still win the match, which still didn't happen, which is fine. I mean, we can't just ignore Class 1B either. Now, one thing that really bugged me in this match, although it's not really a negative thing, it's more of a nitpick from me, was Kinoko's way of talking in this chapter, because she seems to be doing kind of what some other characters, maybe in other stories, or maybe there is some other character in My Hero who does this as well, I don't really know, but she's like adding syllables to her sentences to like really try and make puns with mushrooms and stuff, which I think, you know, if it happens once or twice, it's fine, but when it starts happening as much as it did this chapter, it can become a real problem, because it can get quite annoying. For one chapter, it's not really a problem. What I mean is that if it keeps happening, you know, chapter after chapter after chapter, when she's actually being centered around, it can really end up seeming like an annoying element that you simply don't want to deal with chapter after chapter, you know, you just want to get rid of that, you just want to be done with her at that point. At least her dialogue. I mean, that doesn't necessarily make her a bad character or anything. I just feel like, while it's true that that kind of adds to her character in the sense that it makes her personality a little bit deeper. You know, she has a unique way of talking when she's really hyper and stuff. I think sometimes you gotta really take a step back. Maybe it's just me, but that's what I think. I just wanted to give my input on that in case anyone else noticed this as well or didn't notice it, you know, there you go. I just really wanted to give my opinion of her way of really punning with mushrooms. That's really all I had to say about this chapter. It's a really short review. I mean, for my standards anyway, like I typically try to hit 10 minutes. This week, I just can't seem to do it. It's just not that much to talk about for me. I mean, some people may find more to talk about when it comes to this stuff, but me, I just can't seem to do it. So I am going to end this review here. I would like to know what you think down below in the comments. Did you like this chapter? Did you think it was like average or whatever? You know, did it suck balls? You know, just let me know what you think about it. And yeah, if you did, be sure to Detroit smash that like button if you enjoyed and subscribe if you haven't done so already. This has been Chaotic Plus, and remember everybody, Toga is waifu, Toga is life.